Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In War of the Visions, let's look at the news for the upcoming week. And then usually I would not do this, but the news here is interesting because it kind of gives us a look at how the meta can change like on a dime in order to keep the game fresh, in order to make different characters at the top of the meta, and then also maybe give a hint at maybe why the core game design of Brave Exvius missing something important that can really keep it fresh. But let's go to the news. Let's go to the first new one here. And then this is a new guild battle map. The last guild battle map, it really favored ranged attackers, like gunners or rangers. So I kind of felt like the next map would have a lot of obstacles to block those bullets, and sure enough, this one does. It also might be smaller than the previous maps, so ranged attackers are not going to really be the best in here. And then another interesting ability, every guild map has like some kind of special ability. This one is going to be all dark element attacks will get their attack up. So I think from now we're going to see a lot of like all dark teams using those kinds of attacks to get the higher damage. And then since the natural rival of dark is light, all of the light characters, they're going to just fall out of the meta during this time. So Engelbert, the best tank, this map is kind of designed to be an Engelbert killer, so I don't think we're going to be seeing him in there. If you do want to use a tank, you might want to use Monto, the free character they hand out, or Nasia, she's an uncommon character, or maybe even Sasayaki, the dark element tank. Then let's head on up. We can get these materials to craft weapons, that's always nice. This is one of the best missions to farm overnight while you're sleeping, because you get a bunch of other stuff in addition to all of these recipes and things. And then the next part of the story, that is fine. And then the next raid, and this is pretty funny. The raid boss here is the white marshmallow. The reason for that is because this raid is to celebrate the White Day holiday. And then what that is in Japan. Japan has a Valentine's Day, that's in February. But for that day, only the women give presents to men. And then on White Day, the men give presents to women. I think this is crappy. I think men should work up the courage to give the presents on the same day as the women. But we're in Japan, so when in Rome. A number of people are upset that the raid boss here is the same as the last one, but just like a different color. The last one was the chocolate pudding, if you saw that video. This is a white version. A lot of people accuse the designers of being lazy when they do kind of a recoloring or a reskin of a boss. I don't mind here, because the two holidays, they're related, you know, they're kind of partnered with each other. So to have a boss that's also the same is kind of funny. I see the humor in it. But if the next raid comes around and it's like, I don't know, a green slime or something, then we have a problem. But for now, I think it's fine. But I made a video earlier about the last raid and then how it was fun and how to play it. So I might put a link to that in the notes. But this time, here are the weaknesses. The element of the raid boss will be light, so it'll be weak to dark. So again, we're seeing another element of the game that's really pushing the dark element units. And then also Aquan type class. So if you have Aquan Slayer, that will work extra good here. And then other weaknesses are slash attacks and then blunt attacks. The last raid, the chocolate pudding, that was earth element, so wind element attacks were strong against it. And it was also weak against projectile and magic. So the best character to use was Lucia. She could do wind element attacks that were projectile as well. But now with this character, light element weak to slash and blunt. So that will mean dark characters that can do slash or blunt attacks will be the best. And then let's look at my box here real quick. Let's look at all the dark characters and then kind of think about who would be good in there. The top pick, of course, is going to be Shuteru, because he's just a very high damage attacker. And then his best attack is probably going to be... let's see... Hazard Break, I think? Either Hazard Break or... Hazard Slash. One of those two. I think it's going to be Hazard Break. Yeah, it drains his own HP, so yeah, that's a bigger damage. But as we can see here, this kind of purple icon that I'm tapping, the purple color means that it is dark elements, so that good extra damage into the boss. And then that sword means it's a slash attack, so that'll be additional damage there. And then you can build combos, you can build chains in two ways. One is with the attack type, so you can get slash attack type chains, or blunt, or projectile, or whatever. And you can also get element, so if you have a bunch of dark characters attacking, you can build the element chain up as well. And then as you build the chain up, your damage goes up. And then the best way to build up damage, of course, is to build up both chains at once, both the element and the attack type. So yeah, characters with the dark element slash attacks will do the best damage. And yeah, this Hazard Break, this might be the best finisher in the game available for that raid. We can look at some other attacks just to see. So yeah, here's Jump. It's also a dark element, but we can see it's a Pierce type attack, so it'll be less effective against the boss. Okay, looking at other characters. Here is Sasayaki. She might not be the best because her attack is not very high, but she has one ability I think that could be very useful, and that is this one. This is a Speed Break. Another thing that's important for building up chains is to slow or stop or somehow delay the target from attacking, because say you have like a chain, you've attacked a certain target like 3-4 times in a row, you have like a 5 or 6 chain. If the target acts, like moves and attacks, if it becomes their turn, that chain will be reset. So to slow down the target in some way is really, really beneficial. And we saw that in the previous raid with Yeruma. She had a steal time ability from her thief skill, so that was useful for that. Otherwise, I think her best attack is probably going to be the Trinity Break. This is also a dark element, and then slash damage, and has a bit of range as well, so yeah, that could be good. It breaks the attack, magic, and speed, so that could also maybe help with the chaining. Okay, moving on down, here's the brand new character, Binetta. I worked very hard, and she's almost at level 79. She also has... she has something unique. Let's see if I can find it in here. Let's see. Here. This is a defense break. You don't see a lot of defense breaks in this game. There's a lot of attack and speed and magic, but not a lot of defense, so she could be the one, maybe the first one to act, lower the defense, but since this attack is also dark element and slash, you can do it in the middle of the chain and you won't break that chain, so that could be good. I still haven't really used her too much, so I don't know what her best direct attack is, but if one of these, maybe this one here? Yeah, this is maybe her highest damage attack, but this could also maybe be a good finisher, and then also ride on those slash and dark chains. Okay, next up is Jiza. She's going to be less popular, I would say, because she does blunt damage, which the boss will be weak against, but there's fewer characters overall that do blunt damage. But in addition to all of her blunt type attacks, she also has this one here. This is an attack that hits twice, so this will raise your chains at twice the rate. So if you have a team full of her, actually, you could get a very high chain, I think, fairly quickly. So it could be good. Her too, I think she has a steal time. Yeah, here it is, steal time. So even if you put her in a team full of like all slash members, she can just steal time over and over, and then assist all of the other characters. So she could still be useful. And then we're getting into the lower rarity characters. And this is a nice way that this game is designed, where even the lower rarity characters can be useful. But first, looking at Gafgarion, he's cool because he has both slash and blunt type attacks. So he might be the most versatile to join other people's teams. He can adjust his attacks to whatever team he's joining. And then here is Shadow Lynx, and then she's funny, because up until a couple of hours ago I was kind of regretting leveling her up. The one reason that I wanted to level her up was for this single skill, this one here. This is a 3-hit attack, and then I wanted it so that I could get chains easily just in like story quests to unlock those missions and then get the rewards. But soon after I got this skill, I pulled Lucia, who's even better at chaining, and she can do it at range for more hits. So I went and I worked on Lucia, and now I use Lucia for all of those missions. So I was regretting using all those materials for Shadow Lynx. But since we've seen the meta turn to dark element characters, now I'm very happy that I have Shadow Lynx, because she has this 3-hit attack. And I think she's the dark character with the most hits in a single attack, so she'll be the best chain builder for this raid event. Okay, and then last we have Rairyu and then Ridurira. I don't think either of them are going to be good for this raid, because they do mostly magic type attacks or projectile attacks. So yeah, I don't think they're going to be great. Rairyu, he might have the steal time. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, I guess if you had no other dark characters, you could use Rairyu and just steal time over and over, and then still be useful to your teammates. But yeah, that's a quick look at all of the dark characters that might be good for the upcoming raid. Of course, you could use any slash characters or any blunt characters and still do good damage. Like in the last raid, Mediana was very popular, just because a lot of people had Mediana, a lot of people had her at a high level. So even though the boss is only weak to magic, wasn't weak to ice, still, a lot of people were using Mediana, so shouldn't feel too constricted this raid either. And then that brings me to kind of one of the strengths of this game, and then maybe one of the weaknesses of Brave Exvius. But to have different characters have different elements attached to them, I think it really adds to different possibilities for designing quests. And then the way that you design bosses or quests, that will make different characters, and also different rarity characters, really viable for that time period. In Brave Exvius, you have characters that are not tied to elements. Like Orlando, you can give him any element greatsword, and then suddenly he becomes really good for that quest. And so the way that they were designing characters, the way to differentiate them from previous characters, especially damage dealers, was just to raise the amount of damage or the number of hits that they do. And that really led to power creep. And then on the flip side, you have support characters like healers and tanks. And then you would never need to pull for any more if you got one really good one of each, just because they would be good forever. But in this game, War of the Visions, also like Monster Strike, Dragon Ball Legends, Cult of Buki and stuff, people have innate elements. And so it's easy to design quests so that you have to kind of pick and choose different characters in order to go in there. And that encourages more people to raise the levels of more guys, pull the hatcher more. It's just better overall for everything. And yeah, I think that's one kind of core weakness of Brave Exvius. But anyway, let's finish up the news. This video is long enough. Where were we? Yeah, I finished talking about the raid. I might do another video of actual gameplay. It'll be interesting to see what kind of teams are the most popular, which characters would be the easiest to join other people's teams. Okay, here we have some new vision cards. These are to celebrate the White Day. No White Day units, just vision cards. And then a pickup, you can use these two dark characters in the upcoming raid. I'm not going to pull in the Hatcher, but they should have a special shop where I can buy their shards, so I'll definitely get those. I'm a fan of those two characters. And then here is a step up. It's not actually a good deal as far as like any kind of discount for like Lapis per pull, but at the end you get a guaranteed one of these cards, so that's pretty cool. And normal Hatcher is upgraded. There's some other stuff. Let's see, a shop, other stuff, other stuff. Okay, here we can actually look at the vision cards, and I think this will be the last thing we look at. First is the Esper Summon card. So if you pull this card, you'll gain the ability to summon this Esper. This is the two-headed dragon, which is very cool and old school. The singular ability is the greater damage to dark element attacks, so that'll be perfect for the upcoming guild battle and raid. And then the team ability will be the damage limit up. My guess is that this will make it so you can do damage over 9999. Right now, that's the limit. Even if you can do more damage than that, it will not register. But if you equip this card, then you'll be able to do more damage than that. And that's really important when you're building chains and your damage is getting really high anyway. So if you are doing the raid, you might want to equip this. Next, this is a card I think specifically for Salia. Let's see, individual ability is casting time down and also defense down. And then the party ability is magic up. So yeah, that really makes her a kind of a faster glass cannon, which is kind of how you want to use her anyway. And then this is the one limited time card that will only be good for this time period. Let's see, singular ability. This will raise the damage limit just for that character that equips it. Team ability is Light Slayer up. I don't know if this gives your entire team Light Slayer or if it only augments existing Light Slayer abilities. We'll have to test it to find out. And then last one here, this is a card kind of specifically for Bineta. Singular ability is slash attack up. She has a lot of slash attacks. And then party ability is evade up. She's not that tanky, so you do want to build up her evade. I would like these cards, but I don't feel any rush to get them, so I'm probably not going to pull here, which means I'll miss this limited time one, but that's okay. And login bonus, and this kind of thing. Okay, so I think that'll do it for the look at the news for the next week. And yeah, it's fun to see kind of the meta evolve, and then seeing different characters get the spotlight shown on them. Alright, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.